Wish you a wonderful day. I'm Travis from AsiaBC. In 2020, a global surge of remote working after the COVID-19 crisis could leave a lasting footprint. So we joined together today by a very interesting panel of people to give you their various insight to guide and support corporations and individuals in this uncertain time. So what we are going to do is to run through a brief series of presentations. Here are our topics. Firstly, we have Tinnie Choi from Servcorp. They are the market leader in virtual and service office industry, and they will share their insight on flexible workspace for entrepreneurs nowadays. Then we have Limbi Mutiwazuka from AsiaBC, the pioneer with corporations, service industry, and bank account opening intermediaries, who will share a full range of remote incorporations, banking, and accounting solutions in Hong Kong. Next, we have Jonathan Cusimano from Statrys. They are a pioneer fintech company providing payment and forex solutions to corporations, and they will share their views on the digital banking. At last, we will go on to a Q&A sections. After that, we would like to share a surprise gift that has been prepared for everyone who joined today's seminar. Our speaker, Limbi, will disclose the gift by the end of this webinar. Okay, we are all very excited to kick off the first part of presentation today. Let me pass the time to Tinnie now.
Hi everyone, this is Tinnie. I am the Virtual Office Manager of Servcorp 2IC. For Servcorp, we're actually a very long-standing pioneer in virtual office provider. We have started for more than 40 years in the industry, and we provide a virtual office and also different office solutions for clients from small startup company to big or SMEs that they can expand their business in globally. In Hong Kong, we have 3 locations. One of it is which is in here, to IFC, which is the best building in Hong Kong, or the most powerful building in Asia. Also have Hong Kong Club building, which is very popular, in amongst accountants, law firm, which is in the center of Central, and also One Peking Road in Tsim Sha Tsui area. And in over the world, we actually have 150 locations. So why would you choose Servcorp? There are a lot of different service provider in Hong Kong, and why Servcorp? Well, not only that we're the pioneer, we also provide a lot of different tools to support your business and business services. First of all, of course, the address that representing your company. When you start your business, this, for example, 2IFC, this powerful address, this most prestigious address will be your address on your business card, on your business registration, on your application form to applying for the bank account. What we do is also we provide the mailing services as well. We don't we are not only providing just an address. Our team will help you take up the mail, especially when you're not in Hong Kong. When we receive your mail, we'll help you. We'll email you, informing you, and also help you to do different sort of service like opening the mail and scanning to you, or forward all the mail to you, no matter where you are. Also, you will also have a local business number immediately, and you will have a corporate receptionist to answer all your calls and transfer your call no matter where you are. Also, you not only this, you can also have meeting rooms, assets, and co-working space. I know most of you may not be in Hong Kong when you're while you're attending this webinar. Of course, you want to have a remote account company opening. So we have 150 global locations across Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, China. So you can leverage our 150 hotspots, and you can use our locations globally as well, no matter co-working space, office, and meeting rooms. And last but not least is a dedicated team to provide secretarial services. So especially when you're in Hong Kong, you might not have a team in here supporting you. So we have trilingual team member in here that we help you to run a lot of different errands in administrative support. So after attending this webinar, feel free to contact me on any platform, website. I will pass you my detail as well, and you can enjoy a first month free when you're opening a bank account and forming a company in Hong Kong. Now I'll pass the time to Limbi from AsiaBC.
Hi everybody, Limbi here from AsiaBC, and thank you so much for joining us today. Tinnie, thank you for your part, very educational and a lot of knowledge sharing. So, of course, like I said, my name is Limbi from Asia Business Center, the chief consultant here. And yeah, today I'm just going to be running through a few tips regarding how to set up your company here in Hong Kong, and also a couple of things regarding digital banking as well. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Stay tuned, listen up, and you're going to learn a thing or two. And just a reminder on what Travis said earlier on, we do have a special gift for you guys at the end of this presentation. So again, stay tuned and listen up. So there's a couple of things regarding why setting up a Hong Kong company is beautiful. And as you guys can see over here, this is our lovely panelist. His name is Jonathan Cusimano from Statrys. Jonathan?
Thanks, Limbi. Very nice to be here and invited by AsiaBC today.
All right.
I let you basically talk.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, so for today's presentation on my part, we're going to be looking at a few points on why setting up a Hong Kong company will be beneficial for you being an international entrepreneur and with your interest here in Hong Kong. So you see, we have 5 really relative points. Number 1 being the remote company setup and its affordability, the convenient tax regime, the sound banking system, the business infrastructure in Hong Kong, and also building your relationship with China. So let me start off with number 1. The simplicity and ease of setting up your Hong Kong company is currently one of the leading statistics that AsiaBC has collected on why clients choose to incorporate their business here in Hong Kong. The remote aspect of this is a major attraction given the current travel restrictions in Hong Kong. And of course, for you guys to learn a little bit more about this, we have various ways for you guys to get in touch with us via web inquiries, live chat platform, WhatsApp, WeChat, anything that is easier for you guys to communicate, of course. We have learned that it's important to look from the perspective of our clients and understand that the reasoning behind their request is, So the sound logic we have gathered will be communicated by our agents once you get in touch with us, and any other questions that you guys may have regarding incorporation details. And if we're talking about the convenient tax regime here in Hong Kong, if you just look at the corporate tax, for example, it's as low as 8.25% with an accessible profit of 2 million Hong Kong dollars. Any revenue earned above that will incur a tax rate of about 16.5%. And to be quite frank with you guys, this is much friendlier than other regions. If you look at countries like Australia or South Africa, they are averaging corporate tax rates of about 25%. So this is another major reason on why Hong Kong is considered a business attraction and also a financial hub. If you look at the sound banking system here in Hong Kong, it's fostered the growth for Hong Kong becoming one of the leading international business centers or financial hubs in the world. In both traditional and virtual corporate accounts, you may freely transfer your funds and provide a safeguard for your international trade. These accounts are, of course, multi-currency, with them adopting all the leading currencies in the world. We're talking about the British pound, the US dollar, or even the Hong Kong dollar. And with that being said, one of the main benefits of the Hong Kong banking system is its ability to handle renminbi payments with China. And for this specific reason, Hong Kong is considered one of the best regions to, develop, nurture, and build your relationship with China. So this is why setting up a company is major attractions currently in the world. So let's head on to the next slide, right? Which is going to bring us to 3 top AsiaBC tips for Hong Kong company formation. Briefly, we have 3 of them. Do your research on entity types, requirements for forming the Hong Kong company, and making sure that you guys have the right representation, because in reality, it's going to be a long-term business relationship. So let's get into tip number 1. Do your research on entity types. I can imagine that all of you present for this session right now are either experienced entrepreneurs, have your own businesses. But for those of you who are considering getting into business and being a digital nomad or just a new entrepreneur, these are the main Hong Kong entity types that AsiaBC does assist with formation. Number 1 being limited liability companies. Number 2 being partnerships. Number 3 being sole proprietorships. And number 4 being a foreign company office. A foreign company office can be a branch office or a representative office. And if you guys want to know more about this, you can ask these questions at the end of Jonathan's session, where he'll be presenting digital banking solutions, and you can ask us about entity types, which actually brings me to a question right now that I have for you, Jonathan. For Statrys, right, being a banking solution for clients, entrepreneurs globally, what are the typical entity types that you guys are able to onboard with Hong Kong companies and such?
Thank you for a question, Limbi. I would say that 80% of our customers have a limited company. So yeah, it's mainstream basically. We do also onboard Singaporean or BVI company, but our compliance need to know basically the main reason for customers to have this kind of structure. We can onboard them, but then, yeah, of course, the customer needs to explain clearly why he has this kind of structure. But 80%, yeah, are limited.
It's actually quite interesting, considering that you guys are able to onboard, both actually all Hong Kong companies, Singaporean companies, and BVI companies. I was actually a bit surprised, as I said, that you guys can onboard offshore companies, which is pretty advantageous for guys like you, clients who didn't know about this. So a little added piece of knowledge: if you are considering moving forward with Statrys, right, you will need a certificate of incumbency for your offshore company, for companies from BVI or Singapore. This certificate of incumbency is an important document that relays certain information that is required by the onboarding team of Statrys, of course. So yeah, let's head into tip number 2, which is the requirements for forming a Hong Kong company. So as you can see over here, there's just some general requirements that I did include in regards to this. Number 1 being that you need to be a natural person in order to be the director of the company. Number 2 being that shareholders can be either an individual or an entity. And also, both the director and shareholder, if you are the sole shareholder and director, it can be one person. That's fine. It's okay. Number 3, appointing a company secretary, and number 4, having a registered Hong Kong address. These last 2 points will bring me to tip number 3, right, which is making sure that you have the right representation in Hong Kong. The reason why I say this is because having the right representation is a long-term business relationship between your business and Hong Kong in general, and making sure that your business is able to stay afloat. So let's look at this quotation over here. As technology enables trust in new forms, we're seeing a decline in trust in institutions. And if you really delve into the meaning of this quote, we can understand that there's a lot of distrust with digitally inclined businesses. There's a lot of distrust communicating online because there's always an aspect of something can be miscommunicated over there. You them or speak to them over the phone. One thing that I can reassure you with Asia Business Center, with Statrys and Servcorp, right, is that we cater to clients in this form. We make sure that we are customer-oriented businesses, and make sure we hear out your concerns, your requests, and we try our best to find a solution and accommodate them at the end of the day. So in regards to the right representation, in Hong Kong, when you incorporate your company, you need to have a company secretary, and you must have a Hong Kong registered business. So in regards to the right representation, the company secretary is responsible for all ongoing statutory compliance and annual filings for your business. So to make sure that you guys don't miss any kind of filings or deadlines for your business, it's right to have the right representation in terms of service quality, in terms of transparency, and of course to make sure that you guys do not incur any hidden fees, because there are service providers here in Hong Kong that are not forthcoming in regards to this. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are fully aware regarding all these aspects. So let's head into the next session, which is AsiaBC's Big Three. So I also want to ask you, Jonathan, here again, what do you think are AsiaBC's Big Three?
Can you kind of clarify on that?
These are basically the core functions or services that AsiaBC is able to provide. So
for us, basically, as we are working together for a long time now, I would say, it's the smoothness, when we when you introduce clients, basically, and when we need to talk with you, it's already very smooth, and we always have the best information we need to have to ultimately approve the clients in our service. So I would say the customer support, relationship.
Yeah, he's on the right track over there. When it comes to AsiaBC's Big Three, it comes to company formation, bank account openings, and tax planning services, optimizing your tax planning. And in regards to that second point, actually, this is where Statrys is able to fulfill our partnership with them, our agreement with them. This has been a long-standing partnership, and we're so happy to have them as part of our team, basically. So for the company formation package with Asia Business Center, you can see 3 points over here. It's actually a very simple process, and it can be done remotely, as stated earlier on. It's a one-day company formation. Once you provide us with all the necessary KYC details, you're provided with annual services such as a registered office and company secretarial services. And lastly, there is no restrictions on foreign ownership. That means if you are from, let's say, Brazil or from Canada or even from Italy, you can be the 100% director and shareholder of the business. If we go into the next component of our business for Asia Business Center, is the bank account opening service with both our partners such as Statrys for virtual banking, and also traditional banking partners such as HSBC, Bank of China, and such. We can guarantee the success of these account openings based off our pre-assessment onboarding process compliance review. We try to make sure that your profile fits the requirements of the respective banking institution. Of course, this pre-assessment is free. And of course, if we're unable to successfully open up this account for you, we will provide you with a refund. So basically, you guys will not be incurring any risk by getting in touch with us, seeing whether you can actually open up a bank account. And if you can open up a bank account, that's much better for your business in the long term. And then finally, with the zero tax planning, to make sure that you guys optimize your tax planning and take advantage of the low taxes here in Hong Kong. We have a dedicated accounting, audit, and taxation team. They can advise you at any point. You just need to get in touch with us, as I said, through the communication channels, WhatsApp, live chat, web inquiries, a lot of channels for you guys to communicate with us and make sure that you actually understand what it is that Asia Business Center does.
Basically, I would have one question about the bank account opening.
Yeah.
What is the main like problem you can meet when you try to negotiate a bank account opening?
Oh, that's a very good question. You know, a lot of the times the banks are asking us questions in regards to the business nature of companies right now. A lot of clients are not clear on the type of business that they have. They don't think that being detailed oriented is actually a much better approach to have here in Hong Kong, because from our experience here at AsiaBC Center is that the more detail oriented you are, the more you transparent you are with the banks here, the more likely you are to have your account open. So that's from our experience over here, of course. So yeah, we can head into the next session, which is kind of the environment that Asia Business Center tries to create in regards to you as an entrepreneur, in regards to Statrys being our partner and us being kind of the middleman in this situation. So we try to create a triple win situation whereby all people involved, or all individuals, entities, whoever it may be involved, can actually receive what they are looking for from that deal. So for you as the client would be forming your company and getting your bank account. For us, we'll be onboarding you as our client for the company secretary and registered office services. And also if you also need the accounting, taxation, auditing services. And I believe for Statrys, it's onboarding you as one of their banking clients, of course. So this is basically what we try to do here at Asia Business Center, making sure we're customer orientated and make sure that we provide you guys with the solutions that you're looking for. So, of course, this is something that I think you guys have been waiting for. And of course, something that Mr. Jonathan Cusimano over here is going to be talking about a little bit later on in his section. In regards to digital banking and making your life quite simplified, in reality, we laid down 5 key points for this. For fintech companies, they allow online applications. The application process is very easy. They actually have very advanced security systems, low costs as compared to traditional banking institutions. And lastly, their customer support is unparalleled. I myself am able to get in touch with most of the customer support team at Statrys whenever I need them, be it through emails, phone calls, WhatsApp. They're very catering, and yeah, I would suggest them for any of you guys that are here present for this session right now. But Jonathan is going to go into this a bit more, so I won't stay too long on this section for you guys. So as you can see over here, we have a couple of traditional banking partners that I mentioned earlier on, the likes of HSBC, Citibank, China Citibank, Bank of China. We have been cooperating with these banking partners for over 10 years here at Asia Business Center, and we have successfully opened up bank accounts for a lot of different nationalities, whether it be, you know, low risk or maybe a little bit more sensitive, or also if you take into consideration low risk businesses and some sensitive to high risk businesses. We've been able to, yeah, as I said, successfully open up these accounts. This is because of our pre-assessment compliance review, whereby we request certain documentation to review and make sure that you guys fulfill the requirements of the onboarding team for the banks. If you're unable to pass our pre-assessment, you can't open up the bank account. But if you do, then the chances of you opening up the bank account are significantly much higher. So to close off this session, or just particularly my session, right, you guys can have a look through some of the comments on our Google reviews on happy, satisfied customers of Asia Business Center, from company formation to bank account openings to tax planning. We've been able to assist these clients, and you know, I don't have much else to say. These guys are clearly saying more than enough. That shows that we are reputable, we know what we're doing, and you guys are indeed in good hands. So finally, to bring, as I said, bring this session into a close, I have 3 key takeaways for you guys. Number 1 being that remote services are possible, both for company formation and bank account opening services. Doing this from the comfort of your home in Moscow, in Zimbabwe, South Africa, or even in the UK, it is possible. You just need to get in touch with us and we can assist you. Number 2 being AsiaBC's big 3 for local establishment here in Hong Kong. That's company formation, bank account openings, and zero tax planning services. And lastly, if not, this is probably the most important point because it ties everything together. Make sure you have the right representation, because this representation or this agency that represents you and your company will be assisting you in company statutory filings, annual filings, ongoing compliance with the necessary authorities here in Hong Kong, and also potentially assisting you opening up bank accounts. As long as the agency knows what they're doing, you guys will be in good hands, and that's what AsiaBC is all about. So yes, that brings my part of this presentation to an end. And Jonathan, please educate these people on what Statrys is all about.
I will try to be as good as you are. I mean, very nice presentation, very full, very detailed, as usually. I will be a bit shorter, I think, but yeah, let's try to do something very interesting as well, as you were. So, quick introduction, maybe, from me. So I've been working in the banking industry for 10 years now. I'm the head of FX within Statrys, meaning that I help clients basically to hedge their exposure when they need to trade with various currencies. And obviously, I help also clients to open bank accounts within Statrys. So a quick word basically on Statrys before we go beyond about the fintech and alternative banking. Statrys has been funded early 2020. Okay, so during pretty 1 year, Statrys worked with the regulator here in Hong Kong, built the technology allowed to clients basically open bank accounts. We deal with our main banking partner as well, our main custodian, which is DBS here in Hong Kong. And the company has been operational since the end of 2020. Sorry, the end of 2019, basically. So it's been roughly 7 months now that we are in the market. And obviously, we bring a solution in Hong Kong for SMEs, for entrepreneurs, for large corporate as well, who want to have alternative solution to traditional banking. So very quickly, basically, what is the 3 main points who differentiate ourselves from traditional banking? First, I would say there is the pricing. Basically, our pricing is a bit different from traditional banking in a way that we charge a monthly fee, okay, for having access to multi-currency accounts. This is very cheap. This is 88 Hong Kong dollar a month. And if you need IBAN, because we also provide local account solutions, I will talk about that later, 148 Hong Kong dollar a month. So on top of that, if you need to deal with currency, if you need to pay your supplier in various currencies, if you need to receive currencies from your customers, the FX rates you provide will be always better than banks. So you are 100% sure to save money, basically, when you deal with currencies. So globally, I would say that we are cheaper than banks because yeah, we just provide that transparent pricing, and due to our high technology platform, we can also reduce the cost and provide better rates for customers. In terms of service, I would say that we provide similar service. There is no rocket scientist in banking. I mean, it's all about making payments to Hong Kong or internationally, receiving payment from abroad. So the main key differentiator here is the dedicated customer support. I'm pretty sure that you guys know as well that it's very important to like take care of the customer.
Yeah, 100%.
It's true with every business. I would say it's even more important. I mean, when you deal with money, basically, because the customer wants to have access to human being and not just an online.
That's very true. Can I make a quick comment on that? Because when we're talking about like customer support and such, with the clientele that we're typically dealing with in Asia Business Center, I'm not sure about Statrys, right? But it's mostly foreign internationals. And considering the time zone difference and everything like that, being available more consistently, more actively, right, is very important for these clients, considering that time difference. For example, people in the UK are like 7 to 6 hours behind us. So when is the best time to communicate with them, you know? So it's just one of those aspects that I think both of us take into consideration.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. We cannot yet take like all with the time difference, you know, because we have an office in Hong Kong, we have an office in Bangkok, so we can cover like a large part of the customer support time difference. But usually, the customer, the clients can join us, can contact us through different channels, which is WeChat, WhatsApp. They can call us directly, email. I mean, we are very keen to discuss and to have like banking relationship via WhatsApp, for example, via WeChat for a client based in China. So we have also like a chatbot. So anytime they can join and they can speak to a physical person. Then I would say the main key differentiator compared to traditional bank is the compliance. Usually, when you want to open an account with us, you simply need to go online, start the application. It takes literally 15 minutes to submit your application. And then immediately after, you will be contacted by our compliance, who might ask for additional documents if they need until your bank account is approved. In average, if obviously we have some constraints, we cannot accept all type of industry. We have like restrained business kind of industry. We have also like picky country. We cannot onboard. We can go further in detail later after this presentation if needed. But if you are very diligent, if you provide all the documents asked by compliance, in average, you get access to your online banking within a few days.
You get that?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So now going into detail basically about Statrys. So our main advantage, I would say, is the online business accounts. So first, you can do, as I was saying before, all the application online. We don't require for the director, the applicants, to be physically present in Hong Kong. So we might request for a phone call eventually, but you can all do it remotely from your country. You don't need to be a citizen of Hong Kong. You don't need to be a resident of Hong Kong to open a bank account with Statrys. As I was saying before, this is very quick. We design an online process to make sure that this part, with very often life as a pain from customer, we really want to make sure that you cannot enjoy the onboarding because usually it's a big pain, but we really want to make sure that it's something very quick and smooth. That's why also we partner with AsiaBC, because it's very important for us that you do the due diligence about the clients. For us, it's always better to have customers from company secretaries like AsiaBC, because at least we know that first like due diligence will be done, and then it's for us as a compliance, because we have a compliance department as well, it will be easier. The second point is the payments. When you come with Statrys, when you have a bank account with Statrys, we offer 11 currencies, meaning that you can receive payment from many currencies, including euro, US dollar, pounds, JPY, Aussie, Kiwi, I mean the major currencies. You can also pay from these currencies. And again, if you need to exchange those currencies, the fees will be very, very minimum. The third point is our innovative FX solutions. We give access to spot and forward order, meaning that you can hedge your exposure when you need to block a rate, basically, to pay your supplier later, or when you know that you will receive a currency which is not your base in a few months. With Statrys, you can block the rates and manage your exposure. We are pretty flexible on that. The more you deal, the better we can give you, the better deal we can give. So we ensure that we always remain competitive to attract customers on that. And then, yeah, a few like news about the fintech market, which is also news about Statrys. Let's be frank. I mean, very recently we launched our local currency accounts on top of the DBS accounts. These local currency accounts basically will allow you to have an IBAN from Europe, meaning that you can receive euro from Europe via the SEPA system and pay to Europe. You can also obviously pay internationally, but this account basically will avoid you, okay, to pay the SWIFT fee. Okay, let's say you are in Hong Kong, or you have a company in Hong Kong, and you receive payment from a company in France. You can receive these funds in your IBAN, so your client will avoid to pay the fee. You won't also pay the receiving fees. Same when you pay your supplier. If you have supplier within the Eurozone, you won't pay any fee, SWIFT fee, because there is no international basically payment. Your supplier also will receive the full amount you are paying. So it's, as you were describing before, a win-win-win situation, basically. With this IBAN, we avoid all the SWIFT fee charged by banks. And there is also a bunch of benefits, especially for e-commerce clients who need to receive payment from like PayPal, Amazon, Cdiscount, this kind of marketplace. We can discuss that further maybe after the presentation, but there is a lot of advantage about that. We can discuss later. The second point is the debit cards. I know that we are kind of, a lot of clients chase us about the timing of debit cards. So our debit card, we already signed agreement with MasterCard. Everything is ready from the side, but now we need to integrate the debit card. So it must be released in December 2020. We hope that we won't lag with any delay, but it must be on December. So obviously for the digital nomad clients, it will be a must for them, because they can simply use the debit card to pay the supplier in China. They can withdraw cash. They can, I don't know, pay online. So it's really a must product to have when you are a digital bank. And the last point, basically, it comes from companies like, I'm pretty sure, like in your business, you have a lot of clients using Xero.
Yeah, that's correct.
Software.
Right.
So we want also to be integrated with Xero to give you some facilities, basically less pain with your accounting. Okay, so basically today there is, I mean, in Hong Kong there is two main banks, which is HSBC and DBS, who are integrated with Xero. With the integration, all your incoming and outgoing payments will be directly processed with zero, and it will be less pain basically for your to make the accounting, and they can just focus on the high value service, like providing good analysis about your figures and about your statement.
Love that.
Yeah, so it will be ready probably this year, but I won't overpromise. So we can talk about it later if client have specific question about that. And then I think it's time for the Q&A.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, love that. Jonathan, appreciate your knowledge sharing over there. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of you guys learned quite a bit regarding digital banking solutions here in Hong Kong and about Statrys as a business. You know, I learned quite a bit myself about specifically about the debit cards that are going to be issued, I think, at the end of 2020. Like
yeah, it's planned for 2020.
Yeah, and also that you guys are planning to implement the zero platform with Statrys. So guys, a lot of solutions regarding this. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready with your typing fingers, you know, texting, all that, because now it's time for the Q&A session. We're going to be doing this for the next 10 to 12 minutes. And to get this session jump started, I'm going to be asking a question to Jonathan over here, right? Because I do have, you know, a couple of things that I want to understand about Statrys. So firstly, Statrys has always, you guys were recently incorporated about last year, correct? Right. So with the clients that I do speak with, people interested in banking solutions in Hong Kong, their main concerns, or one of the frequently asked questions, is that are my funds secure with a fintech platform? So I would love it if you could educate these guys on that particular point.
Yeah, it's a very good question, and obviously this is a kind of question, a redundant question from customers, because again, when you talk about money, about funds, you need to have a feeling of safety, which is fully normal. So the first things is, let's take the very bad situation, where the worst situation where Statrys go bankrupt, let's say. Okay, first, the funds are safeguarded, the client funds are safeguarded within DBS, meaning that if there is a problem with Statrys, the fund of the client are segregated. Okay, I safeguard is what we call the segregated accounts. So the fund of Statrys and the fund of customers are always separated. Okay, so if we go out of business, basically DBS will contact the customer with new banking, with like they ask with new banking detail to wire the fund to another bank account. In any circumstance, we cannot touch the fund of the clients. So it was one of the main requirements from DBS before we do a banking partnership with them. So the funds are on segregated accounts. It's really separate from Capital Statrys.
All right, cool. I really appreciate that answer. Just giving some clarity on that, you guys. Your funds are secure with fintech platforms. They are safe, so there's no need to worry about that aspect. So I do see a question here from Silver Wang. Sorry about that. It's been there on the screen for quite a minute. So you asked us, what are the types of businesses that would especially benefit from Hong Kong? And you're asking this directly to me. Appreciate that, Silver Wang. We can definitely have a chat after this. So in my opinion, I really believe that e-commerce businesses can definitely take advantage of what's happening with the current pandemic situation, considering that a lot of economies and just business activities in general are adjusting themselves to go into the digital realm and changing their processes from a brick and mortar type of business to a digitally inclined business. This is going to be so much more beneficial towards you here in Hong Kong as well. And one more thing, as I said earlier on, forming your company in Hong Kong can be done remotely. Opening your bank account can be done remotely. And of course, running your business from the comfort of your own home can be done remotely. Just do it in your bed. E-commerce business, even shop, online shop. I think that's something a lot of people can consider getting into and you know, moving forward with. So let's see other questions from everybody else, because we want to make sure that we get to everybody and we address the really important questions regarding, you know, company formation and bank account openings or just digital banking in general. So we have a question from one of the registrants on the webinar. Do you open accounts for a Russian UBO? You know, that is a very good question, and in reality, because as you well know, Russia does have some sensitivity regarding its nationality, and of course Hong Kong is well aware of this. So as long as you are able to provide a clear understanding of your business, a clear understanding on your business proof, such as your invoices, your contracts, who you're doing business with, and other aspects of your business. And I'm going to say this again, transparency is key for sensitive nationalities. Then most likely you will be able to open up your bank account. But again, transparency, don't hide anything, you know, that's it. Let's see, let's get more questions coming in, guys. Don't be shy. Me and Jonathan are going to be here with you for another 9-10 minutes, so keep them coming. So we've got another registrant asking us, what jurisdictions are allowed to open account with the company? Okay, so I guess you can answer that in regards to Statrys, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in from compliance department, you know, I'm more in the dealing, but I know that we have some restriction for some, we have some jurisdiction, sorry, we cannot onboard. For those who aren't, because I don't want to say any mistake,
yeah, exactly.
I have the list from our compliance, and we can provide a list of jurisdiction we cannot onboard. There is obviously like countries like Iran, Iraqi, Syria, you know, but I prefer to provide you the full list, okay, instead of telling a country we can onboard and in fact we cannot.
Exactly. You know, like providing like miscommunication or like information that is not accurate. I really appreciate that. You want to make sure that these guys have the right information. Yeah. But in regards to Asia Business Center, because we are also we cooperate with some traditional banking partners. So in regards to those guys, if I just take a couple of examples of clients that we did assist over the past year or so, we've been able to assist BVI companies, Seychelles companies, companies incorporated in Singapore and such, in opening up their Hong Kong bank accounts, traditional bank accounts at that. As I said earlier on for the previous question about the Russian UBO, transparency is key. Make sure you provide all the necessary documentation for the application of your bank account. Hong Kong is very sensitive in regards to this, and because of what has been happening over the past year in regards to not only the global pandemic, but also the protests that were happening last year, there's a couple of changes that have been implemented, of course. So yes, make sure that you have all the requested documentation. Don't be shy about it. It's just compliance review. They're not going to do anything too drastic about your business. So yes, let's get into the next question, right? Oh, from Derek Kim. I think one of the biggest concerns regarding fintech platforms like Statrys is the security of the funds. I am a little fearful of leaving large sums of money in these types of accounts. Do you have any comments on the security of funds? Are any funds insurable? I think you actually already addressed this. Yeah,
it's interesting because we see that this is the kind of question come back again. Again, when you have a bank account with Statrys, the bank detail are provided by DBS. So it's exactly the same as we open an account with DBS. Okay, Statrys is the intermediary, basically. We have this deal with DBS to provide a smooth opening, basically, because DBS, basically, sometimes, you know, they don't want to deal with SMEs or they have a heavy compliance. So the deal we have with DBS is we have very straightforward compliance. We have our own compliance. And then when we provide the banking detail, it's from DBS. So then as soon as you have your funds with us, the bank account is provided by DBS, and you benefit the same protection as any banking in Hong Kong. So I think the deposit scheme protection in Hong Kong is, I think they insure the fund over $1 million or something. I mean, to be precise, but it's exactly the same security of traditional banking.
You see, I think because we did address that particular question when we began the Q&A, right? So I really appreciate you like being patient enough to address it again and make sure these guys actually know regarding this particular topic.
And also because I think I saw a question before from Ivan, I think we're asking if you can provide IBAN account. Yes, we provide IBAN.
Okay, that's good. So, of course, we're going to keep this Q&A session going on for the next 4 to 3 minutes. So, guys, keep those questions coming along. Speak to Jonathan, speak to me, and let's be best friends. So, we got one from Sharon Murphy over here. How can HK help me with business in China or Asia? So, okay, I guess I can kind of give you an answer for that. If you're listening closely to the presentation that I made, one of the key benefits or pros about doing business in Hong Kong is your ability to build and nurture your relationship with your counterparties in China. Hong Kong's banking system is excellent, if I just put it mildly like that. It's excellent, and they're able to facilitate renminbi payments with China. So these are one of the key factors in developing your relationship with China, that you are able to make these renminbi payments. So form your Hong Kong company, open an account with Statrys, or with a traditional bank account partner, or whoever you want to open up a bank account with, and then nurture your relationship with China. You can get your suppliers, your buyers, whatever it may be, and then you'll be able to settle your renminbi payments. Yeah, keep those questions coming, guys. Sharon Murphy, thank you for that question. I'm pretty sure that your business is going to be doing well with China as well. Okay, Iranian national individual bank accounts. That is an interesting question. I'm trying to understand. Are you trying to open up a personal bank account for Iranian nationality? Is that what you're trying to indicate? What do you think?
I mean, if it is like opening a bank account for Iranian citizen, for us it's banned because obviously it's not us, basically it's DBS.
Yeah, you have to comply with
the
them.
Bank, comply with especially with the US, you know, and basically the bank won't take the risk. Unfortunately, for today, it's political reason, you know, it's to deal with Iranian, because otherwise they might put at risk the US dollar dealing, which is.
It's a bit unfortunate in regards to this, because we've been approached by quite a number of clients who have legitimate businesses, you know, doing legitimate business with low risk nationalities, low sensitive nationalities and such, and they're making good business. But just because of their nationality, onboarding has been something of a very difficult thing to do. So that is the answering your question about Iranian nationalities. So we do have time for one more question. So bring that up. I see another question from Alexander. From the website, we see a limit outgoing payments of $50,000 per month or equivalent. Why the limit?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's not a limit, basically. We can talk later about that. Above 50,000 US, we charge what we call the recharge fee. I don't want to go too much into detail. We can obviously talk together, Alexander, after this presentation. We have no limit of payment, basically. So as soon as you have enough provision into your accounts, you can pay out. So there is no limit of incoming or outgoing payments with Statrys.
Okay, sweet. I think there might actually be one more question. Let's see what that question will be. Okay, Silver Wang, can you please explain a bit about the turmoil in HK in Hong Kong that we have heard about with China? Whew, loaded question.
It's a bit political, be careful.
Loaded question. Thank you, Silver
Choose
Wang.
your camp.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take it upon myself to answer this question because I think, in all honesty, what's happening between Hong Kong, China, and the USA is in actual reality not really affecting the business circumstances in Hong Kong itself. You're still able to receive funds and transfer funds out of Hong Kong. You're still able to conduct business activities in Hong Kong. So whatever the trade relationship or that's happening between Hong Kong and China, or China and the US, or USA and Hong Kong, right now, everything is good. We cannot comment on the future, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, 6 years from now. We cannot comment on that, but if we're talking about right now, everything is okay here in Hong Kong. Yeah. So yes, I see another question from another webinar registrant, and I see you guys are, you know, throwing more questions towards us. I like that. You guys were listening. So, can the company hold the money on their account, or they should withdraw in some period of time? I think you're referring to Statrys, of course. So.
Yeah, you can. If the question is my account can be dormant? You have no obligation of withdrawal any money. But having said that, we as the compliance department, our compliance, what they don't like is dormant accounts, because it can be risky basically for many reasons. I don't want to be to develop too much here. So if you open an account with us, okay, and if you have your account inactive for 3 months, you will receive an email from our compliance department to check basically if you still need the account or not. And then we will discuss basically, maybe you don't need, maybe you will receive a payment or you will start the business soon. So to answer your question, you don't need to do any withdrawal or stuff, but at some point you need to be active, because otherwise we might at some point close the account if you don't need it.
Okay. I think that pretty much covers up that client's or that attendee's question. So, Irene Lee. Okay, with the question over here, for traditional bank account opening in Hong Kong, can it be done remotely? You know what, Irene Lee? It can be done remotely, and actually we have a few banking partners that can actually facilitate this, not only in Hong Kong, but you do also have a Singapore option as well. If you really want to know more about this, right, we're definitely going to be passing on our contact details at the end of this session for you guys to get in touch with us. And you better get in touch with me, Irene. I'm watching you, of course. So yeah, we can kind of wrap up this Q&A session. And I thank you guys for asking your questions. Really much appreciated. So now, of course, for what you guys have been waiting for, the gift that I was supposed to announce. We have an all-in-one Hong Kong company formation plus a multi-currency business account package valued at the lovely price of $999. This package was originally priced at $1,150. So you guys will be making a saving of $151. So for everybody who's a first-time user or first time joining us for these webinar sessions, you qualify for this, and this is valid until the 30th of September, end of this month, basically. And also, we also encourage you guys to take 2 to 3 minutes to complete this survey that we have for you. It's about 5 to 6 points that you guys need to fill out. So whilst you guys are completing this survey, I think it's a good time for Jonathan and I to kind of you know, just pass on some knowledge on how Hong Kong has been dealing with the whole COVID-19 pandemic. I think the first point that we can point out is that Hong Kong has been very unified in their stance in battling the virus. I think if you guys check a few news articles, you can see the numbers in terms of positive patients in Hong Kong and the daily average for cases in Hong Kong. So my first tip, obviously, for this is you always got to wear your face mask. You see, always got to wear your face mask. The reason for this is because it's important to protect yourself and those around you. Even if you are not a positive carrier of the virus, you are protecting yourself from catching it from someone else. And if you are a positive carrier, you'll be protecting someone else from catching it from you. It's just important social responsibility, and make sure you don't go into loud, crowded areas. Make sure you adhere to the social distancing that has been told by us, by these health professionals. Do you have anything that you can also pass on for these guys?
Yeah, to complete what you said, it's very, very complete already. But what I observe basically in Hong Kong is that people are really well educated. Right. They wear the mask in public all the time, except when they are eating or eventually having like a beer, you know, like in Soya, because still they can do it. But then it is very they are just well trained, well educated. Right. It's just common sense. Sometimes, as opposed to I would say France or, you know, countries in Europe, or sometimes they are a bit less. Like they complain all the time. Honestly, it saved Hong Kong a lot of
trouble.
Yeah,
honestly.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest with this, right? It's really commendable the way Hong Kong has tackled the pandemic itself, you know, with the way they've educated the general population, with the way the population itself, as I said earlier on, has been unified in their stance in battling the whole coronavirus pandemic. In actual reality, I believe it was 2002 where Hong Kong had a similar type of case in regards to SARS. I think that was a very enlightening and educational experience for Hong Kong, and how they prepared themselves on how best to deal with this current situation with the global pandemic. So yes, I think about 2-3 minutes have come by, but we're still going to give you guys a little bit more time to, you know, complete the survey and make sure that you provide us with all the details, of course, and make sure that when you're completing point number 2 regarding the survey on how satisfied you were with the webinar, I expect you guys to say I was very satisfied. I'm not going to accept anything less. If you say anything less, yeah, we're going to have a phone call. just play with you.
And I think that for all the people who are not able to answer that question, we can answer them personally by email later. I think you will have our contact.
Yeah.
So feel free to contact us or call us, and
definitely
we will answer roughly to you.
And also, like you said, for all those people that didn't answer those questions, right? We are waiting for you to get in touch with us. You know, it's not even a question that we weren't paying attention to you. We're just trying to stay within the specified time period, of course. So, do you have any final comments about your section regarding digital banking, or any piece of advice that you can pass on to our attendees?
I would say that for now we try to again keep, you know, and try to get the flow of clients basically coming in Hong Kong, or clients who are outside Hong Kong and who want to have the digital experience with banking. We have a lot of service coming, including IBAN, which we have already, but we will also open new bank accounts elsewhere in the world, in USA, in UK, in Australia. New service coming, the card, again, I said. and we really want to ultimately compete fully with the traditional banking, and one day, obviously, buy back HSBC. Something we really want to target, and I think one day we will succeed.
Yeah,
especially when you see the stock price of HSBC, which is ridiculously low now. But yeah, one day we will be able, I think.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for that day, definitely. So yes, if you guys have taken the time to complete the survey, really appreciate that, of course. So the next thing that we want to do is make sure that you guys have our contact details, all the contact details. We're talking about our email address, phone numbers, and such. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our contact details here on screen for your viewing. You can see my contact details, my email address being limbi.m@asiabc.com.hk. You can see my contact information, and if you're so inclined to, add me on LinkedIn, you can add me on LinkedIn. Of course, you can see also Jonathan's contact details over here. Like I said, with both of us, we're very customer-oriented organizations, as well as Servcorp, which we're going to show just now. But we just want to make sure that you can see that there is a code over here. AsiaBCxStatrys. If you use this code, then you can enjoy a 30-minute Zoom consultation with me for free. During that consultation, we can talk about the various aspects about you from your company in Hong Kong, the requirements of doing so, the tax advantages, or anything else that you may have queries about, of course. And if we head on to the next slide, you can see the contact details of Servcorp. Just to remind you on who Servcorp is, they are a workspace provider here in Hong Kong that function globally. But particularly here in Hong Kong, they are stationed in IFC2, the most expensive building in Asia. So as you can see right now with our view back here that you guys have seen, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and I really recommend that you guys do move forward with their services, as they are quality, they're magnificent, and the go-to for workspace workspace services. So of course, to bring everything to an end, from all of us here at AsiaBC, from Statrys, and from Servcorp, we thank you for joining us today, giving us your time. So stay safe, stay healthy, and always wear your face mask.
Thank you everyone for assisting.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.